Welcome back to Lexicon Labs. I've built 13 Chrome extensions using no-code AI tools. Today we're going to test if AI can rebuild a Chrome extension from a top-rated Chrome extension from the extension store. So we're going to look into the current state of LLMs and the capability to handle complex multi-file code tasks from scratch. So first, we're going to look at the top-rated Chrome extensions. The Chrome store contains over 190,000 extensions. Extensions cover everything from productivity, security, and aesthetics. The most popular features are ad blocking, screenshot tools, and simple utility functions. The challenge requires generating HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and a manifest file. Let's take a look at the Chrome store. If we go straight into the Chrome store, we see that the favorites and the suggested boxes are there, but let's go straight into productivity tools and look for the highest rated. We have quick create Google Workspace. We have several apps about font changing and email scraping, but let's look at some specifically high rated ones. This one has 4.4 stars, Flashcard Lab, vocabulary and language learning. I think this could be coded relatively easily. It auto inserts words from sources and creates flashcards. Blurred Out is a smart tool that blurs your private parts, your private features when you're streaming or sharing. So it would block out the URL or password, so you wouldn't have to do that if you were editing post-production or if you were live streaming. Pomodoro Focus Timer, this one's very common production. There's already 4 over here on the right that do exactly the same thing. This one has 249 users. This one has 40,000 users. This is YouTube Notes to Notion with Udemy, Coursera, Bilibili, and more. And this one enables you to take notes from videos, capture screenshots on videos, and generate flashcards from your learning. Decide which one we want to rebuild, and I'm going to show you how to rebuild any Chrome extension from scratch. So we're going to start with choosing the one to rebuild, Blurred Out. So the Blurred Out extension provides a simple but not a trivial service. It's privacy-focused element blurring, and the functionality must include toggling blur states and handling user interaction via a pop-up. So we're going to go into the Blurred Out Chrome app and figure out what the features are. All right, we have Blurred Out installed. It has a sidebar pop-up. It has a freemium plan, so it has limited use. You get up to 5 free elements to blur. When you move the mouse over certain items in your browser, it pops up with specific element or classes and says press 1, but when I press 1 or 2, nothing happens. So let's try out some other features. Blur capture. Okay, I can do the whole page. The whole page is blurred by pressing 1. Pressing 1 again unblurs the whole page. I was hoping that it would blur out URLs because that's something I like to block when I'm posting videos about development. If I'm using a private app that I want to show the development. Okay, I pressed 1 again, blurred elements 1. Again, we're using the limits, and then it has local saving, local data management, operation modes. And here's the pricing: free, unlimited sites, 5 elements per site. Okay, so it's per site, not per user. Try the full version, and then the pro license is $30 one-time payment. So what we're going to do is take a look at the features, send some screenshots of this to ChatGPT, ask for a list of the features, and ask for a prompt for Claude to rebuild it and rebuild it better. So we're sending 3 screenshots of the extension in use over to ChatGPT, and we are saying, here are the screenshots of the app and the description from the store. I'm using it, and it gives the user 5 uses per site. They have freemium model where you can unlock more features for a one-time purchase of $30. It doesn't block URLs as far as I can tell. It doesn't allow presets like auto-blocked password pop-ups or URL or names or whatever. And I'd like you to give me the technical specs required to recode this. So I've copied and pasted the description from the store and 3 screenshots of the extension in action. Let's see what ChatGPT comes up with. All right, project overview. It's given me the name Smart Blur. I don't know if that's been used, but we're gonna go with it. And the goal is to build a Chrome extension that allows users to selectively blur visual elements on any web page during screen sharing or recording sessions. Architecture, Manifest v3 Chrome extension, that's correct. Core principle, 100% client-side processing, no cloud data, with persistent local storage of user-selected blur targets and configurations. So those are the features that I'm adding beyond what I found. And we're going to send this as a prompt over to Claude, and Claude will make the files for us. So before we begin, I want to ask ChatGPT if there are any more features that it thinks I should add. GPT says we should have a user interface and workflow enhancement, preset and profile system, blur preview and hover inspector, per site auto load rules, a smart or AI-driven features. I like that, to auto detect sensitive elements. We could integrate a Gemini or OpenAI API. That would be very useful. Smart patterns recognition, one-click auto anonymization mode, and design and usability polish tips. Okay, let's say GPT, give me a prompt to have Claude build all of these files. Okay, it's given me the prompt with the specs for what files should be produced: manifest, background, content, pop-up, side panel, icons, and a readme. And I know Claude's not going to generate the icons, but it's giving all the user interface components, the advanced features, the technical details, design style, and the readme. And for easy copy and pasting, I'm going to ask GPT to put all of that in one canvas. We're going to copy this directly into Claude and see what happens with Sonnet 4.5. All right, after about 5 minutes, Claude has all of the artifacts ready for me. And what you need to do next is download them all into the same folder. Now, the downside of using Claude is that it doesn't do the image generation, but we do have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of the files in JavaScript, CSS, and HTML that we're going to need for this. So what I'm going to do is send these to ChatGPT and ask ChatGPT to double check that it's working, especially the manifest file sometimes doesn't work, and to generate the icons and to zip it and send it back to me. All right, the GPT and Claude version is ready. So when you're developing your own Chrome extension, you need to turn on developer mode in the extension tab, Chrome://extensions, load unpacked, and choose your files. And it will give you a pop-up right away if it doesn't work. But it seems to have worked. Smart Blur is loaded. Selectively blur sensitive elements on any web page with intelligent detection and privacy-first design. Pin it. Let's see if the pop-up actually works. Okay, we have a pop-up, not a sidebar. That's something I was hoping for. We have a free limit, so that's copied from the original version that we're trying to replicate. If we open the settings panel, nothing works. Clear all blurs, cancel. Okay, we're going to need to fix this up. Let's double check with ChatGPT and make a prompt to fix it. Now we're going to do the next step, which is to send this over to Manus for finalization. So I'm going to ask ChatGPT to create a prompt to send with the files to Manus. All right, we're sending the files over to Manus with the prompt from ChatGPT. It is 9:45 a.m. Let's see how long it takes. All right, Manus just said it's completed. That took 9 minutes and 25 seconds. Let's see how it works. So first you download the zip file, unzip it, and load it into Chrome. They gave me an improved icon. The ChatGPT icon was pretty minimal. Let's see how the sidebar opens. Doesn't open as a sidebar still, but we have the bare bones of an app. So let's reprompt Manus. After several iterations, I finally have it uploaded. It takes a couple prompts to make it work, but if I pin the extension, it will show me the sidebar. Now the sidebar looks clear. It has all the buttons that I asked for. The settings look like they're still in there from the previous upload of sidebar. Let's take a look at how it works in a Reddit post. So if I click on this, I highlight some text, and then I can right click and click blur this. That didn't work. I think we might need to debug something else. But if we refresh the page, let's see if it works again. Let's open a newspaper and see how it works there. All right, StarTribune.com. Let's click on an article. Quick trip to open 5 more stores in Minnesota. Let's try highlighting the title, right-clicking, blur this element, and it has the confetti animation to show that the blur worked. I might remove that later. That's a little bit annoying. But now we know that the blur function works. Go back to Reddit here and see if we can blur other elements of a page. All right, let's see if I can blur my username. That worked with the confetti animation. Let's see if we can blur other elements. I'm selecting a little bit of the text there, blurred successfully. Let's see if we can blur buttons. Okay, we can blur entire sidebar buttons. Images, we can blur images. This might be useful if you're streaming and you want your viewers to focus on just certain parts, or if you have some NSFW parts there that you don't want to show. So I can blur other people's usernames, and it seems to stick. So when I scroll down and scroll up, the blur assignments remain. Can't blur that ad, but I can blur the other links on the left. It seems like it's a little bit incomplete. Is it up to the level of the app that we're comparing it to? I'm not sure yet. I don't think so. But that's not the point of this video. The point of this video is, do you have a function that you want an app or an extension to have? And can you do it instead of buying it? So looks like I can, and it looks like I can do it in less than an hour. I'm not sure how the people that made the app that I'm referring to, how long they took, if it took a team of developers a month or years to create this, but I did it in about an hour, and I can blur certain things, I can blur images, and everything seems to be going smoothly. And I know that I can still iterate my prompting to improve it further and see how that goes. If I click on the off button or the capture button, some things change. Off turns off all of the blurs, and when I click capture, it allows me to frame elements that can be treated as individual elements to blur. That seems like it's pretty useful, and that's has a lot of similarity to the app that I was referencing in the beginning of this video. Now the sidebar looks like it needs some work. The part where it says blurred elements is just showing these weird looking sliders with a clock, and I think that's something that I'll definitely be improving to show what I blurred, but that can be done with a couple iterations. Now when you're done, you can click export, and that's really cool, is that you can export a JSON file containing all the CSS selectors of the elements that you've blurred. So this means you can save your blur configurations and reuse them later. It's perfect for developers or anyone who needs to consistently blur the same elements across multiple sessions. And that reaches the end of this video. I'm always looking for new ideas for tools like this, so let me know in the comments below what kinds of apps you'd like to see me build next. If you like this video and want to see more content like it, please like and subscribe. I'm really looking for a comment that asks me to build something specifically, especially something challenging, so like, subscribe, and comment. Thanks for watching all the way to the end.